everyone, my name is Rolio Tadeo Carreras Alanis, and alongside my team, we're going to talk about the importance of hormones in the human body, alright? But I know you have many questions right now. What are they? What do they do? Why do we need them? Alright, I'm going to answer these questions right now. So, hormones have many roles in the human body. They are chemical messengers that are produced in one organ, and they travel to the bloodstream and through many biological fluids. Now, their function is to modify and control the functions that our body does. For example, the thyroid makes two types of hormones, thyroxine and thyronine, which they have a very important function in our body. But which is that function? Well, they affect the metabolism of almost every cell in the body. So now that you got something a little bit clear in your mind about what a hormone is, I'm going to talk about the first hormone we're going to see today. Which is that hormone? Well, it's a somatotropin, or better known as the human growth hormone, HGH. So, what is a growth hormone? Well, it increases metabolism and stimulates the liver to release factors that stimulate bone growth. Now, growth hormone is released into the bloodstream from the anterior pituitary gland. The pituitary gland also produces other hormones that have different functions from growth hormone. Growth hormone acts on many parts of the body to promote growth in children. Once growth plates in the bones, or epiphyses, which is that closest, have fused growth hormone does not increase height. In adults, it does not cause growth because it helps to maintain normal body structure and metabolism, including helping to keep blood glucose levels within set levels. Now, this hormone is not released continuously, but it is released in a number of bursts. Now, these bursts happen each 3 to 5 hours, and this release is controlled by two other hormones, which are released from the hypothalamus. Now, growth hormone releasing hormone, which is the hormone that regulates this process, it's very important for us because without this hormone, we would have been very affected by this. Because the excess of having this hormone has many negative effects in our body. Well, now I'm done. Let's go with the next teammate, please. Bye.
Thyroxine is the main hormone secreted into the bloodstream by the thyroid gland in an inactive form, but most of it then turns into an active form called triiodothyronine by the liver and the kidneys. The secretion of thyroid hormones, thyroxine and triiodothyronine, is controlled by a feedback loop system that involves the hypothalamus in the brain and the pituitary and thyroid glands. The hypothalamus secretes a thyrotropin-releasing hormone which then stimulates the pituitary gland to produce a thyroid-stimulating hormone. When the levels of the thyroid hormone, thyroxine and triiodothyronine increase, the hormone production system prevents the release of both thyrotropin-releasing hormone and thyroid-stimulating hormone. The release of too much thyroxine in the bloodstream is known as thyrotoxicosis. It can be recognized by a goiter, which is a swelling of the neck due to enlargement of the thyroid gland. Some effects are intolerance to heat, weight loss, increased appetite, increased bowel movements, irregular menstrual cycle, rapid or irregular heartbeat, palpitations, tiredness, irritability, tremor, hair thinning or loss, and retraction of the eyelids. Too little production of thyroxine by the thyroid gland is known as hypothyroidism. Thyroid hormones are essentially for physical and mental development, so untreated hypothyroidism before birth or during childhood can cause mental impairment and reduced growth. In adults, it causes reduced metabolism and it can result in symptoms such as fatigue, intolerance of cold temperatures, low heart rate, weight gain, reduced appetite, poor memory, depression, stiffness of the muscles, and reduced fertility. Adrenaline is produced in the center medulla of the adrenal gland in some neurons of the central nervous system. They are released into the bloodstream and serve as chemical mediators, and also convey their nerve impulses to various organs. Adrenaline has many different actions depending on the type of cells it's acting upon. However, the overall effect of adrenaline is to prepare the body for the fight or flight response in times of stress. Some key actions of adrenaline include increasing heart rate, increasing blood pressure, expanding the air passage of the lungs, enlarging the pupil in the eye, redistributing blood to the muscles, and altering the body's metabolism so as to maximize blood glucose levels primarily for the brain. Adrenaline is released mainly through the activation of nerves connected to the adrenal glands, which trigger the secretion of the adrenaline and thus increase the levels of adrenaline in the blood. When the stressful situation ends, the nerve impulses to the adrenal glands are lowered, meaning that the adrenal glands stop producing adrenaline. Most people are exposed to stressful situations on common occasions, and so most of us are familiar with the typical symptoms of adrenaline release, such as rapid heartbeat, high blood pressure, anxiety, weight loss, excessive sweating, and palpitations. However, this is a normal response of the body. Very rarely, overproduction of adrenaline may be caused by an adrenal tumor called pheochromocytoma or a paraganglioma. Suffering from too little adrenaline is very unusual, even if you have lost both adrenal glands through disease or surgery.
Hi, my name is Karina Buso, and today I'm going to be explaining you two hormones, glucagon and insulin. First of all, I want you to know that these two hormones work very similar. They are taken by the hand, and in a second I'm going to explain you why. These two are located in the pancreatic islet glands. This is a group of cells that form clusters distributed in the pancreas. This organ is an endocrine and exocrine because it secretes hormones into the blood, and it also pours digestive enzymes into the intestine. Okay, now I'm going to explain you what glucagon is. It works with the alpha cells, and its function is to increase blood glucose. Now, insulin works with beta cells, and its function is to decrease blood glucose. These two hormones are the ones in charge to regulate the sugar levels in our bodies. In other words, this means that if you have too many sugar in your body, insulin is going to enter to decrease that levels. And if you have too little sugar in your body, glucagon is going to enter to increase that levels. Okay, for concluding, I want to say to you that you really need to be really careful with your body and take care of what you eat. Because if it happens a situation like if you have too many sugar in your body and you don't have any insulin to decrease this level, you can have very serious diseases as diabetes, weight loss, thrombosis, and skin rash. And if you have very little glucose in your skin and you don't have any glucagon to increase these levels, you will need an injection of glucagon to increase these levels, so the process is going to be more complicated. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned a little bit of what I talked today, and that's everything. Thank you.
My name is Cynthia, and I'm going to explain the
estrogens and progesterone hormones. The estrogens are hormones that are important for sexual and reproductive development. There are three forms of estrogens present in the human body that have an endocrine function. These hormones act on the nucleus of the cells and regulate the synthesis of proteins. The three types of estrogens are estradiol, estriol, and estrone. Estradiol, the synthesis is produced from the testosterone, and it is the type of estrogen that is found in greater quantity in the female organism during the years of fertility. Estriol, it is synthesized from aldosterone and is produced in large quantities during pregnancy. Estrone, it is the least abundant of estrogens. It is synthesized from progesterone, and its production takes place in the ovary and adipose tissue. Estrogen in women is mainly produced in the ovaries, while in men it is produced in the testicles. The primary function of estrogens in women is the development of secondary sexual characteristics. These include breasts, endometrium, regulation of menstrual cycle, etc. In males, estrogen helps in maturation of the sperm and maintenance of a healthy libido. Also, estrogens modulate hormonal secretion at a pituitary level and immune function of thymus level. Estrogens promote vasodilatory and productive effects of cardiovascular system by acting on the vascular smooth muscle and endothelium. Estrogens are important in men's lives because they are beneficial for bone metabolism, preventing the appearance of osteoporosis and contributing to the maturation of joints in pubertal development. Progesterone is a sexual hormone. In women, it is released by the ovaries and later the placenta. In men, they are produced in the testicles and adrenal glands, although in very small amounts. During the menstrual cycle, its function is to condition the system to facilitate the implementation of the embryo, and during pregnancy it helps to have a safe pregnancy. It also has a role during the lactation period because it helps to prepare the mammary glands, increasing the size of the breast for milk secretion. While in men, it inhibits the conversion of testosterone to DHT. Its effects on women's day and day are to increase the excretion of sodium and chlorine, exerts a relaxing effect on the uterus, increases the secretion of the cervix, and maintains the vascularization of the uterine mucosa. Meanwhile, in men, it is important for fertility and it relaxes the smooth muscles, among other things.
In this case, I'm going to talk about the testosterone. The testosterone is the key male sex hormone that regulates, among other things, the red blood cell production, the fertility, the muscle mass, and also the fat distribution. Testosterone is produced by the gonads. In this case, in men are the Leydig cells, and in the case of women are in the ovaries. The regulation of testosterone is tightly controlled to maintain normal cells in blood. The hypothalamus and the pituitary gland are important in controlling the testosterone produced by the testes. It regulates a number of functions alongside sperm production, such as sex drive, red blood cell production, bone mass, and even muscle size and strength. Without adequate amounts of testosterone, men become infertile. So after the age of 40, what happens is that the level of testosterone is decreasing 1.6% over year. So a high number of men see the effects of age related to testosterone depletion. Now I'm going to talk about the melatonin. The melatonin is a hormone produced by the pineal gland in the brain. It's primarily responsible for regulating the body's circadian rhythm to manage the natural sleep cycle. Improving sleep, melatonin is also involved in managing the immune function, blood pressure, and also the cortisol levels. Seasonal affective disorder is related to a seasonal depression. This type of depression indicates that could be linked to changes in the circadian rhythm caused by seasonal light changes. It's also high in antioxidants that can help to prevent the cell damage and keep the eyes healthy. Melatonin could be beneficial in treating conditions like, for example, glaucoma and also the age related to macular degeneration. It is also affected by the blood when the body absorbs melatonin from different types of food, like, for example, tomatoes, walnuts, rice, or barley. For melatonin will produce its effects and you will feel calm and sleepy thanks to all the factors that combine and affects the melatonin.
Hi, my name is David and I'm going to talk about oxytocin. Oxytocin is a hormone that acts on organs in our body and as a chemical messenger in the brain, controlling key aspects of the reproductive system, including childbirth and lactation and aspects of the human behavior. It is produced in the hypothalamus and it is secreted into the bloodstream by the posterior pituitary gland. The secretion depends on electrical activity of neurons. To conclude the topic, to summarize, the hormones are vital substances for the regulation of our body, to control the functioning of organs, and to shape chemical equilibrium. And without them, maybe we cannot do many things that we are doing right now.